Alright everyone, welcome to the ambiguous case, no solution for the law of sines 3.1. And so we're going to look over here just to figure out which one is that going to be. It's either one of these two. Either A is obtuse or A is acute. So we're going to look at one of those two here today. What we are going to look at is there is no such solution, show it. Which A is 15, B is 25, and A is 85. A is 85, which means it is an acute triangle, so we're going to be looking at this one. Okay. So it says A is less than H. And if you see on the top, H, the height, can actually be found by saying B, sine of the angle A. Alright, so let's actually do that. Let's find H. So we can say H, the height, is going to be, we're going to find H before I actually get to it. We're going to find H just to make sure that A is where it says less than H. Because A right now we know to be less than B, but we don't know if it's less than H. So we know that it's either here, less than B, so we could have two solutions. It could be less than B here, so it could be one solution, or it could be less than H here, which is none. So we have to find out how is A compared to H, not just to B. So the height is going to be B, 25, times sine of 85 degrees. So let's type that into our calculator, and that's 25 sine of 85 degrees. I know I'm still in degrees from the last thing that we just did. And that is 24.9. So we're going to just round that to 24.9. So we're going to say about equal to 24.9 as a length for the height. So is A less than 24.9? Yes, it is. So we know we're going to get no solution. All right, but let's do it anyway. Let's say that we're going to have A, which is 15 over sine 85 is going to equal B, which is 25 over, we don't know what the angle is, so we're going to say sine B. Cross multiply and all that kind of jazz, and I would say do all that first before you get those angles again, because otherwise you're going to just have a whole lot of decimals and rounding and all sorts of stuff. We don't want to do that. So it's going to be 15 sine B equals 25 sine 85. And we'll just do that part first and do the 25 here. Alright, then what we are going to do is we are going to divide both sides by 15. And hopefully what you're starting to see is if you want to do some shortcuts with this, again, that's okay. I'll probably do that on the next video just to save some time, because hopefully you can kind of see cross multiply and divide is happening every single time here for sine B. So I'm just going to try and cut that out. Okay, so I should get sine B is going to equal all that. So 25 sine 85 divided by 15. Let's use the calculator. I'm not going to find the inverse of sine yet. You could, but I want to show you what happens when you just get to the sine of B. So we have 25 sine 85 degrees divide, and actually, you know what? I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to get a number. I'm going to divide that by 15. And I get 1.66 about. So we can say sine B is about 1.66. Now if you remember back to your unit circle, what is the largest that any angle can be, any value for sine? It can only be 1. That's the largest it can be. So if we get 1.66, there is no angle that's going to get you out to larger than 1. So that means right here we run into a problem, because sine B has to be, absolute value, has to be less than or equal to 1. Absolute value because it could be a positive or negative, right? We can get to negative 1. So it's got to be in between 0, or it's got to be between negative 1 and positive 1. So we're out of luck. That's why we have no solution. It's one of those that it just doesn't make a triangle. Alright, so there is the case for no solution. What I would like you to do is you're going to do this one right here, the no solution one. Don't look at this. Show there is no solution to the triangle. If A is 58 degrees, the length of A is 4.5, and the length of B is 12.8. You probably want to make sure that A is less than the height before you do that. So follow back to what we did. Alright, and before we do that, let's look at your, here we go, your trivia question for this one. What relief pitcher's Major League record for consecutive saves finally ended at 84 in 2004?